Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of SHENZHEN I. It's just me this time. Rose is no longer here. She just showed up for the sandwich thing, although who knows, we may have her back. I'm sure we will have her back sometime in the future, although perhaps not for SHENZHEN I was thinking, just as I was getting ready to start recording this episode, that I still don't really have any kind of an intro for this. I just say, welcome back to SHENZHEN and then I kind of fumble around for a bit and say, let's do a puzzle. I wonder if I should read this stuff, right? I don't know, it seems a little silly. You know, weather, light, rain. I could do a weather forecast thing. Welcome to Shenzhen. We're expecting some light rain today. Temperatures around 27 degrees. Poor air quality and heavy drone activity. But I don't know. I feel like that would get boring after one time. So there you go. That was your one time. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was as good for you as it was for me. We have a new email from Wu Lily called Growing the Company. Over the last 2 weeks, I have conducted a thorough review of the company's product lines. We are showing some signs of improvement over last year, but we are still creating multiple products with no point, no goal, and no larger plan. I agree with you on that one. I want everyone to think about how to focus on products that have the potential to truly change the world. Where are the devices that we feel proud of as a company? How can we earn respect? What future are we building toward? We must face these questions head-on with all of our efforts in order to have a chance of becoming one of the world's top electronics firms. My uncle named the company Longtang Rising Dragon for a reason. Alright, well, yeah, she seems to be on top of things. Good for her. Product, Carbine Target Illuminator. I saw this one in the manual before. We have a deal to create a highly portable infrared targeting device that automatically switches emitter modes based on range. At long range, the aiming laser is on. At mid-range, the laser switches half power and turns on a flood emitter. And at close range, it switches completely to a larger flood thing. A copy of that table. As a mounted add-on for any type of carbine weapon. It has the potential to do very well across government and law enforcement agencies. And Carl is not very happy with becoming an arms dealer. But okay, we're going to do it because that's the only option we have. So, radar out is a simple input. Oh my goodness. Okay. Connected to a miniature radar unit that indicates when it fires a radar ping. Radar in is a simple input connected to a miniature radar unit that indicates when it receives a ping. Laser is a simple output connected to a variable intensity infrared aiming laser. Flood 20 and Flood 60 are simple outputs connected to infrared flood illuminators with 20 and 60 degree beams. Okay. Measure the delay between radar out and radar in pulses. And control laser, Flood 20 and Flood 60 as specified in the diagram. So we have to, I guess, at intervals, basically our cycle is going to be send a radar out ping, count how long it takes to get a thing back, and then switch into one of 3 modes accordingly, and then send out a new radar ping, I imagine. Right? So we got this. Oh, no, I see. We're just supposed to every so often send a radar thing. Send a radar ping every... What is this? Start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Every 8 cycles, we're supposed to send a radar ping and count how long it takes for the thing to get back. Okay. Let's go look at the carbine aiming manual. Okay. So here's the idea, right? If it's we need to measure whether it took 1 or 2 time units, 3 or 4 time units, or 5 or 6. And as soon as we know which, we have to decide how strong to make the laser and which, if any, of the other lighting things to turn on. Okay. And I guess we leave them until we get the next ping back, and then we immediately flip. So here, we got the ping back right here, and in that same time cycle, we switched to flood 60 for very close range. And we stayed there until after sending out the next signal, we determined that we were at medium range. So we turned the laser halfway on and the flood thing, the mid-range flood thing on. So at the beginning, will it be in no mode? The gun is off. And then as soon as we receive an input, we're going to switch to the corresponding mode. Okay. This doesn't seem too bad, right? Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how to do it efficiently. Let's see. I imagine all these parts are not recommended. Yeah. None of this makes much sense to me. Yeah. We got all these gates here. We got RAM. We don't need any of it. So we're going to have, I imagine, one output controller connected, I suppose, to all three of these things, right? Oh, but we can't because they're all simple I/O, right? So we can throw a muxer in front of these two down here, the ones that are never partially on, and then be connected to this one in the normal way, right? Yeah, these two are always on or off. So we'll have our main controller connect like this. It's gonna be something like this. X bus goes there, and it receives its X bus input from somewhere. Let's see. I mean, so the idea that I have is that this guy is going to receive X bus input with a number. That number being somewhere between 1 and 6. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, this seems all right. And then he's gonna just test whether it's less than test whether it's less than 3, then test whether it's less than 5, and send signals to these outputs correspondingly. I think that should be okay. And this guy can be pretty simple as well. I think we just need a single standard chip up here and nothing more. Connect it up like that. So my thinking is the following. We're going to have to start by sleeping 1, but only the first time. After that, we're going to do the following. Let's see, will we ever get it back in 0 time units? Is that possible? I don't know. Is this a 2 or a 1? How many time units has it been here, right? It seems like 2. But I don't know. I think it might just be 1. Well, okay, so what we're going to do is, I think, gen on radio out, which we'll use P1 for that. Gen on P1, oh, P1, 1, 0. And then as soon as that's done, we're going to start a loop, wait, where, before that, we're going to initialize ACK with, 1? Sure. Maybe 0 is better, not totally sure. And we're going to do the following. In each step, we're going to check test equal P0 100. If it is, then we will just move ACK to x1, sending it how long has it been since we sent this thing? In between sending this and receiving this, we're going to send that in time units just as a number over this X bus wire. And then whether or not we did that, we're going to... Okay, I'm not sure exactly how to tie this back together into moving to the top. Actually, I bet we could do this even a little bit better. I don't know. This is yeah. Alright, I'm not sure exactly what to do. So we move ACK to x1, and now we add 1. That's obviously a good thing to do. So how long until we should send the next pulse then? So we did Gen 1. So we sent, we had a 1 and then we added 1. So it's 2 if we were doing the test right here, 3 if we were doing it here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if it's 9, we should go back to the top of the loop. And if it's not, sorry, we should go back to the top of the chip. And if it's less than 9, we should jump to wait. So we will just test less than ACK 9. If ACK is less than 9, let's jump to wait. And otherwise, we'll fall through and send out another pulse. Seems okay to me. So let's test just that. Invalid register. Which one, please? Move ACK to x1. So let's test just that. We'll have this guy sleep x for x1, and just move x1 to ACK, and that's his whole thing. So let's see if we can get the timing values in correctly. So of course everyone sleeps. Great. Oh, not x1. Yikes. x0, x0. All right, try again. Now we generated the pulse, so that was correct. And we moved ACK to x1 already? What? Oh, no. We meant to move 1 to ACK. Alright, we're moving 1 to ACK now. We test whether P0 is set. Of course it's not, because we just sent the pulse. Add 1. I think that these values are wrong. This should probably be a 0, and this should be an 8 rather than a 9. But we'll see if we get... that's easy to adjust. Jump to wait. Oh, we didn't sleep. I guess we just sleep 1 here, either way, right? Okay, now we get this back, and we are doing what? Test equal whether it's 100, it is. So we send ACK, which is 2, over the wire here. This guy gets a 2. And we keep on going. And we decide to send another pulse at the right time. Great. And we measure this one, and it should eventually say 4, right? 3. All right. Well, so we have a little work to do. I think let's go ahead and sort of speculatively, even though it's not totally clear how these numbers are meant to be interpreted. I think 0 and 8 is probably what they meant, not 1 and 9. And then, let's see. What's the right way to encode this guy's handling of the input number and turning it into the appropriate set of outputs. Okay, so this flood thing... So what I'm thinking is... It's just a little bit awkward to do a 3-case if, right? Because there's no, like... We can say test if it's less than this. Test if it's greater than this, and like we can sort of handle the outside cases, but then we won't have done anything on the inside. Alternatively, we could say test if it's less than the smallest thing, if so, do what you should do for the smallest one. And then test if it's less than the largest one, and if so, do what you should do for the middle one. But the problem with that is then that'll still be true even for the case where it was below the smallest one. Can we do any of the silly business we were doing with OR here? It seems like maybe. So the trick is, we've only got 7 instructions, right? We're gonna have to do at least 2 tests. And that leaves us with 5 instructions. And maybe we need even more than that, right? And how many moves are we gonna have to do? Well, there are at least 2 moves we're gonna have to do to this thing. That leaves us 3 instructions. This thing is either like a couple adds and a move, or I don't know. It could be 2 different adds, 2 different moves, or it could be like some addition and a single move. I think it's probably simpler to do it as 2 different moves, because then we don't have to like deal with storing state in ACK and resetting it each cycle, because that would cost us more. Okay, so what if we do this? What if we test whether it's less than 5, that's our middle and close range cases, and send the output as if it were the middle case. And then after that, and then if it's not less than 5, then we do our output for the high case. And then after doing both of those things, we test whether it's less than 3, and if so, replace the output with our short range case. That's 2 tests. And the problem with that, so it's 2 tests, right, which is okay, but we then like have to do 2 moves in every cycle, right? We have to set the laser to exactly the right brightness, and we have to set the appropriate one of these guys on, or none at all, right? Is there any way we can get those guys to share code somehow? Because that's 10 instructions, and we only have 9. Right? 6 for writing these things, 2 for the tests, and 2 for reading the input. I don't think there's any clever way that we can share, like, avoid having to move the input into ACK, basically. Is there? No. It's coming to us over XBus, and we have to save it somehow, right? So of course, a simple solution is to just grab one of these guys, right? That would take care of everything. And we don't have enough. Yeah, this guy doesn't even have enough input pins for him to like do anything interesting. Now, if we could just save one instruction on this guy, we could maybe do it, right? Because he could, in addition to moving ACK onto X1, he could just zero out this guy, right? As just a thing he does every time. And then in exactly one of our cases, we would know that we don't have to write anything over this bus. And we could save the instruction here. Now, the instruction that stands out to me is this one, right? Is there a way we could do without that by, like, rotating everything, kind of? Make this the first instruction. And then, like... I don't know. That's a little bit sketchy because we can't activate any conditionals. It seems like we ought to be able to do it, though. What would that look like? All right. So let's grab another chip and use it as our scratch paper here. So say we remove this. If we were sort of just conceptually shifting everything in here down by one, these two would roll over to the top, right? Well, the problem is this jump weight, right? We can't get there in plus mode. So maybe what we can do... No. Oh wait, this is fine. It's fine that we don't jump weight the first time. We'll just sleep 1. Gen P1 10. So that'll be at time unit 2. Move 0 to ACK. Go through this wait. So wait, is this going to be right in other cases? It looks like it's right in the first case. Okay, let's just move this down here. Move this up here. Oh god, this guy wants to be wired up. Sleep for 1,000, please. I can't? Is that just an invalid number? Apparently. Okay. So let's see what this does now. Step. It gens a pulse at the appropriate time. Moves 0 to the accumulator. Tests whether the thing is set. Adds 1. Yeah, great. So it sent a 1. Okay. So we were able to shift things around to save one instruction there. Which means we can... Oh, we don't need this bridge. We can just go under. Forgot. Okay, and I'm not sure, like, what is the least harmful thing to... Or the most convenient, let's say. I guess it's whatever we need for the maximum range that would be the easiest to leave alone. To have as the default, I should say. And at maximum range, we want neither of these, just the laser, right? Yes. So let us, when we do this move act to x1, let us also move a 0 to x0. We're resetting these to be not on. Now, I think we have enough instructions here to do what we need to do. We're going to do what I talked about earlier, test less than AC5. If AC is less than 5, we're going to assume for the moment, well actually, let's first write the minus mode code, okay? This means AC is 5 or greater, meaning the only thing we have to do is move 100 onto P1. Oh no, I just realized we have no sleep. Sleep's taken care of. We got the sleep all right. Nothing to see here. Move 100 to P1. Otherwise, it was actually less than 5. So we'll move 50 to P1, speculatively assuming that we're in the middle range case, even though we're not sure about that yet. And also move, we want, what is it, flood 60 here? Mid-range mode. The floodlight, no, flood 20 is the one we want. So that should be 100 to x1. And if we were actually less than 5, let's also test whether we were less than 3. And if that was true as well, then we'll overwrite all the stuff we just did. Move 0 to P1 and move 1 to x1, activating the flood 60 instead. Okay, that looks pretty good to me, honestly. And if it's correct, I think it's the lowest possible production cost, right? Because we needed 5 simple I/O ports. You can't get that with, well, not necessarily lowest possible. There could be a solution that would involve using one of, no, yeah, yeah, lowest possible, because one of these guys, well, no, I guess not, because maybe you could figure out some way to be real smart and wire, say, one of these guys up to 2 muxers one on each X bus, one pointing to these 2, one pointing to these 2, and then also have its one of its X bus inputs. Sorry, have one of its direct simple IOs go here. Yeah, maybe you could fit all of that into one of these larger ships, and then it would be, oh, but that would still be 7, right? Yeah. So I don't think we're going to do the best in terms of power, but if this works, I think it's the best you can do in terms of production costs, so that'll be nice. I'm sure someone will beat me and prove me wrong. Okay, so we got our signal. We determined its distance 1. So what have we done so far? We've turned the laser on to half strength, and we're turning on the flood 20. Yes, that's the middle distance thing. But now we're actually going to test whether it's less than 3, and it is, so we undo all of that, turn off the laser, and widen the aiming thing. Let's step over all this where nothing happens. And that too. All of this as well, why not? And now we say, we got an input, right? So move AC distance 2. Oh. Well, apparently we were right the first time when we guessed that this should be 1, and where was the 9? 9. Apparently this is supposed to be distance 2, not distance 1. It was not totally clear. Pew pew! Look at that. Look at us go. Send out a pulse. Oh my gosh, this one is so far away. Nope, we got this wrong. What happened? What mode are we in now? We are in mid-range mode. When apparently we were supposed to be in long-range mode. How did that happen? And let's put a breakpoint there, I guess. Let's put one here, so next time. Are we like not resetting our accumulator somehow? Yeah, we're never... No, we are. But we might not be resetting it as often as we should be, because nothing seemed like it was at range 9, right? So that one was at range 2 or 3. That one's at like range 3 or 4 or something. Oh, no, this is right, I think. No, AK got set to like really high, and then went back down. I don't understand what is going on with this chip. So we start by sleeping 1, and then we gen on P1, and we move 1 to AK. So at the bottom of this, AK should always be 1. There's no way it can ever be anything else, right? But actually it's 9. So there's some sort of resetting the AK that we didn't do. But it's right here. Move 1 into AK every time. 100% of the time. So what the hell is going on? Okay, we get here. We gen... Oh, and then we're sleeping. Is that wrong? Maybe that's the problem. Right, we only actually reset this after we're done. Well, it's been 1 time unit. Alright, I'm gonna try something a little bit sketchy and just put a 0 here and see what happens. See now, AK is 8, we're adding 1, we're sleeping. Wait, what? I'm so confused about what instructions are being evaluated even. Like, how is AK 1 when we're way over here, so far away from this? Is there some other sleeping that we're doing that like doesn't make that I wasn't anticipating? It seems like we're just getting out of phase somehow. Let's see if we get... Like, we're sending this exactly as often as we should be, but AK is just not what I expect it to be. Why is that? So here AK is 0, and then it stays 0, of course. And then it's 1 when we advance to right at here, right? But now this time it's 9 right here. And this thing says we're generating Oh, are we still sleeping or something? What is going on? Yeah, this like does not reflect reality. Cause, right? This says that no. What? How did this go on for just? And ACK is 9, and then it's 0. What? I think this must be something to do with getting out of sync. Like, having wrapped this stuff around is making things weird now in some way that I don't understand. But I don't think it should be weird at all. There's nothing special about where you start in the program. It always, you can imagine it as like just infinitely many times rolling it down forever, and just any slice of 9 should be the same except for where you start. But like, I don't understand even what this debug output is telling me. Like, okay, so we're done with the gen after we sent this pulse, right? That, no problem, we got it. And then we do all this stuff, we do some sleeping, the gun lights up the way it's supposed to. Okay, we're still like waiting to send out the next pulse. We're sleeping for 1. And we're choosing to jump to wait. Okay, now so that is maybe an issue, right? Because this is the... What turned this on? Right? Radar out. Wait a minute. I thought radar out was an output. It's an input! Oh my god. Okay. I thought we were supposed to be in charge of sending pulses over radar out. But in fact, it's just been completely ignoring all of these gens because that's an input. I don't know, I read it, and I'm sure I read that it said it was an input, but I thought it was an output because it's labeled radar out. But okay, we're not in control of the length of the pulses. Honestly, this makes things easier, I think. Because we can just, every time we check that radar out is set, we can set our ACK to 0. And whenever we see that radar in is set, we send our ACK over to this guy, right? And that's it. That's like the whole thing. And otherwise, we just increment the accumulator. Huh. Alright. Sure. Well, I feel a little silly for having written all this junk. Let's see, we're going to test equal P1 of 100. If so, move 0 into ACK. Test equal P... can we save a little bit of power? Whatever, doesn't matter. Test equal P0 of 100. And if so, move ACK to X1 and move 0 to X0. And in any case, sleep for 1. Is that it? Alright, well this is making me start to think maybe we could have done this fancier with like cramming all this onto one controller now. One giant controller with 2 muxes. But again, that's not actually any cheaper. So, alright, I'm sure I'm missing something, but this is like a reasonable sketch. Oh, we forgot to add one tack. Which I guess it doesn't super matter when we do it. Let's just do it here and see what happens. Okay, we tested its P1 is 100. Yeah, sure is. Send a 0 to ACK. Add 1 to it and sleep. So there's a 2. Now we say, is P1 100? No. Is P0 100? Why, yes it is. And we send off with a 2. Great. And again, we might be misreading these as to... No, this looks okay so far. As to where the numbers are supposed to start and end. But this looks good. Yeah, okay. So I made it a little more complicated than it had to be. Because I misunderstood how we were controlling the radar. Overall, though, I'm reasonably happy with it. Yeah. Really? Nobody? I'm surprised so many people spent so much more on electronics. Maybe, maybe couldn't figure out how to do this without needing a larger chip? Could be. In terms of power, we were in like the high end of normal, it looked like. Maybe we could surely squeeze a bit more out, but it looked like pretty much everyone was spending about as much power as we were, except for a couple tricky devils. Alright, how's our gun? We did it! We made some kind of thing that goes on another thing that's made for killing people and helps them kill people even better. Go us! I understand your concerns, but let's take this offline. And also, a new email. Incredible opportunity. Land rich in rare earths. Oh, land rich in rare earths. Okay. I'm contacting you about an incredible once. This sounds like a Nigerian prince thing. To own land rich in rare earth metals in the western region of China. What are rare earths? They power the world's electronics. It's fair to say the world would not run without them. But the world's supply of rare earth metals is drying up. Mining companies can't refine them fast enough to meet demand, and now the mining firms are looking to expand. Now is the time to own this land before the mining firms find it. That does not seem like real solid advice. Unfortunately, we work at a really dumb electronics company in Shenzhen who couldn't afford to buy land anyway. Or anyway, we couldn't afford to. Maybe the company could, but on our personal paycheck, we can't. Okay, well, that was it for that puzzle. That was a fun one. A little frustrating when I realized what was going wrong, but, you know, it pays to read the directions. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.